Alright guys, welcome back to another video, another Mazda B2600 video. I decided I wanted to get some different seats put in. So this is an extended, so this had stock bucket seats in it originally. The driver one was bad, so I ended up putting a stock bench seat from my single cab. But very uncomfortable. It's also very heavy. And it just made getting to the back very hard. So I was researching about what seats kind of bolt in here. Some old Mazdas will bolt in, but I can't find any of those. But someone said Ford Escort seats. I went to the junkyard, I just didn't like them. And someone mentioned something about an older Honda Prelude. I got these from a 95 Prelude, cleaned them up and stuff. Pretty good condition, to be honest. I mean, there's a little dirt and stuff that I'd probably need to scrub even more or longer, but I scrubbed them pretty good, and they're in really good condition. So if you do want to do this, I'm still fitting it in. So one thing they did say, I was reading, is one bolt fits on, so this one's on the stock seat rails, and if you can see, I just went ahead and tried to do a test fit. I got one bolt there, and you can see down here, if it'll focus, you can see that hole right there. It's a little off right there, so bolt won't go through there, and you can see the angle it is. Kind of sits, let's see if I can focus this for you guys. You can see it slopes down real steep. So I gotta figure out a way to get it up. If I'm gonna use these rails that are already on it, I gotta figure out somehow to lift the back end up. As you can see, that doesn't even reach to the back mount, and this one back here, I'm trying to see where that's supposed to bolt to. So there's the hole right here. This is back towards the center console. A little off here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. If I have to run these, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to kind of modify it, get something at least underneath to get lifted up, and I'm gonna have to work on the center console. This is out of a Nisan Xterra. Got it at the junkyard too. Pretty good condition. It's a little padded up here on top and whatnot. It's got two cup holders here. It came with little sleeves here, rubber sleeves. I still have to clean those, and rear cup holders. So as far as this car, these trucks, I mean, the center console never came with any cup holders. So I watched a video, someone was able to rig up that center console from xterra, because I think these are the cup holders, if I'm not mistaken, that are supposed to be with this truck. I mean, that does nothing. So but I mean, as far as it looks, I mean, it looks a lot better. The seats feel feel really good. I did drive down the road with just one bolt here and here on this side, but I have to figure out a way to mount this. So I'm gonna see if there's a way, if I can swap the seat brackets or sliding rails, whatever you want to call it, over to these seats. Just rig it up somehow, and maybe take these off, since the seat belts for this truck, try to see if it would even click in there, and they don't, so I may as well take those off, and figure out how I'm going to mount this. But there's already screws underneath here. I'll show you guys. I've got 2 screws there and 2 screws back there from the existing console. So I've got to figure out some way to rig this up. I did keep the screws that fit in these, so I'm gonna have to probably get some L brackets and do that. But I think as long as I leave my arm up on it or whatnot, in the meantime, I think I can just leave it sit there. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna pull these seats off and see. I'll get back to you guys and see what I see and if it's gonna be possible to swap over my stock bucket seat rails, whatever you want to call them, tracks. All right, guys, these are the prelude seats, and I was looking. It looks like these rails are actually like riveted on. There's one here, one behind underneath there, and one down here. So I can't bolt those off. With the stock bucket seats, you can. And you have a bolt here, and if you slide this up, I'll do this with my foot real quick. You get a bolt there. So, not too sure what I'm going to do. All right, so I actually got them in. I never used those stock rails or whatever, because I would have had to cut and do some welding. I don't have a welder, so what I decided would work. It's not completely done right now. Definitely looks good. So what I had to do is, like I said, this one bolts up right here just fine. So I had to come over here and I had to re-drill a new hole right here in the bracket, so that bolt will go through, and I had to cut this lip off. So the fronts are bolted in. Now the rears, I'm gonna have to, as of right now, I have 2x4 blocks in the back on both the seats in the rear are on these blocks, because here's where the hole mounts, and then because these are too short, like I said. So what I'm gonna do is drill into, or get this bracket bolted to this wood with a decently, I guess, a 1-inch screw of some sort with a washer. So that's mounted into the wood, and then I'm gonna drill a hole through the block so I can get a longer bolt to mount it to the floor. So that way it'll be solid, it'll hold. It's kind of ghetto, it's, you know, it's the best way to do this is if I had a metal block, and I would have had to tap some threads into that, and I could have cut a metal block or whatever to make it look good. I can make it look a little better if I had certain tools for cutting wood and stuff. So the rear's just like that too. I'll show you guys. It's just on some blocks. So I mean, I've driven a couple days. Well, actually, I guess 1 day, 1 or 2 days it's been. The seats do not move right now. I mean, it would take a massive bump to have the back end move up. It's real solid and sturdy right now. So, but that's the plan for the rear. So if you are interested in mounting these seats in, you definitely can. They definitely feel really good. They hold you in a lot better than the bench seat I had in here, and a lot better than the stock bucket seats that are in these trucks. And then that center console, like I said, is from an old Xterra, I believe a 2000. I think there's 2 types of center consoles in the Xterra. There's this one, and then there's another one. I don't think it has the cup holders in the rear, and then it's got like a top storage that opens up from the side, and then a normal open up, and then I think 2 cup holders in the front. So there's 2 types of center consoles. I believe this came out of a 2000 Xterra, and then I was able to put the stock bracket in from the original center console, and then right here, as you can see, I got the 2 screws mounted here. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rear ones, because I think those two holes sit like underneath here somewhere. So I mean, it is mounted. I usually always have my arm on here, so it doesn't make any noise whatsoever. But it's definitely nice. I'm gonna have to get used to it, because I'm just not used to having such a high center console. And that's one thing about this. This center console sits up pretty high, so you might not like it. But I don't know what other center consoles you could use. I mean, if you like your stock one, just leave your stock one in. I still have the stock one. It's just I wanted some cup holders, and with this one you have 4. And then if you want to put large cups in here, you just take these sleeves out. I usually don't have large cups, whatnot, so. But like, I wanted to mount it up here, but I was thinking about the shifter space. If I do have something sitting in here, I don't want it to be in the way of the shifter, so that's why I have it mounted a little back. And then the mounting, these screws to mount it, I wanted to make sure I can get something in to hold this down. And this was the best location in my opinion, so I could have used those screws. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I mean, it doesn't really bother me having the metal exposed here. You definitely do feel that heat, and you will burn yourself if you touch that, but I haven't had any issues with it. So I have yet to have any cups in here and see how drivability is. I think it'll be fine. I think it would have been a pain if it was, you know, this is like 1.5 inches. If it was already flush with here, it might have been a little annoying, but I definitely like it, and I'll get used to it. But I'm definitely liking the center console. I can, when I'm cruising, have my arm rested, and it's got a little bit of padding in it, so that's really nice. I mean, it's not hard like the stock one or certain center consoles. So it definitely feels good, and when you're cruising, you're just resting in this thing now. So definitely a big improvement here. And the seats, I mean, they hold you in really good, as you can see. Everything fits good. I don't know if it's just these trucks or just trucks in general or whatnot. I probably need to get new shocks, but the body roll in this thing is horrible, and having these seats really holds you in nicely, and it feels really good. I did scrub these to clean them up real good. So like I said, these are out of a 95 Prelude. I believe that generation went to like 92, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure, but these are what they look like. Everything works on them. So if you don't want to do all this modding, like I said, you can also get Ford Escort seats, I think like late 90s, early 2000s. And the holes for the stock seat rails will bolt up right to a Ford Escort seat. So you don't have to mod anything. You just swap the rails out, and you can just literally put them in. I don't think you really have to mod anything other than the sliders. So if you want less modding, that seat, I did sit in one at a junkyard. The Ford Escort seat is definitely more comfortable than this, but it doesn't have the support like this does and holds you in. So if you want comfort, definitely get the Ford Escort seat. If you want maybe more of a bucket racing type of seat, I guess you want to say, you could go with these. I don't know any other seats that are going to bolt in here, but I mean, you're definitely going to have to do some modding like I had to do. So I will definitely get the back bolted down, get that squared away, but that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this video. More Mazda videos coming. Got a video up with the wheels, painted them white, and whatnot. So if you guys want to keep seeing some more Mazda videos, let me know. I'll definitely make some more. So that's what it looks like right now. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.